Webtoon. What a lovely site for reading webtoons. And a site like this always delivers me some nice, wholesome content to... What the... No, that doesn't belong there. Let's just... There we go. Can't have any of that on my family-friendly... This one was heavily requested over various videos, even on my April Fool's videos, which is sorely underappreciated. Please, just give it a chance. Anyways, I don't know much about the webtoon itself, other than this webtoon post saying it's NSFW. We can ignore the rest of the text. So, this is a NSFW webtoon. What more do we need to know? Read the description? What for? I have everything I need to know with this here acronym. Let's start reading now! The webtoon starts with... This is like the third webtoon video in a row I've used this clip, but... Already! Yeah, it starts with who I think is our protagonist watching an adult film when she's in middle school. And I am absolutely certain this will have no consequences on... Oh lord, she's blushing. We go to present day, where she's with her friends at a lingerie store, specifically because one of them wants to do the sexy time. Our main protagonist, Hanyul, is so oblivious she needs her pink-haired friend to show her what she's talking about. Naughty Girl invites the two of them to a group blind date. And Hanyul asks her a question, which leads to them glazing the crap out of a guy named Minchyo Kim. And apparently, it's not only them, everyone does, even posting sightings of him across social media. Now, if he doesn't mind and even encourages this, then alright. But if not, this man has to be living in a Black Mirror episode. Just imagine going about your day and people are taking your photo like you're a Sasquatch. Then they post about it on their story, celebrating like they won a trophy. You know, now that I'm saying this, if celebrities have to deal with this all the time, maybe this is why Kanye. As it turns out, Hanyul and Minchyo know each other, going all the way back to when their moms were pregnant. It also helped that they were neighbors, so they were destined to be friends. And apparently, despite being polar opposites, they somehow shared a lot of interests. Interests like obnoxiously screaming in... What is that, an internet cafe? Doesn't matter what it is, you two should read the room and not start yelling at each other over gamer rage. Man, what are they even mad about? Let's see. Wow, 7 times in 20 minutes, as that is abysmal. That's nearly every 3 minutes. We're not shown what game it is, but if it's causing this level of crash out, there can only be one game. She blames Minchyo for not having a boyfriend, as he apparently intimidates any boy away. You know what, Hanyul? If they're intimidated by another guy that easily, then they were never the one for you. You need a warrior that will fight for you. Wait, hold on. Is that Ippo from Hajime no Ippo? See, this is the kind of man I was talking about. One that never gives up, no matter how big the opponent is or how intimidating. Where are you going? Fight back! After Minchyo scares off Bargain Bin Ippo, Hanyul is furious with him since he keeps on doing this, and she's sick of it, and she tells him to leave her alone. He then gets mad at her, saying he's doing this out of pity because she has no friends. Brother, you scared off someone 20 seconds ago. You'd have to have dementia to not remember that. Minchyo goes away, both of them leaving it off on bad terms, but suddenly this guy called Jay, who was mentioned earlier, comes up to Hanyul. One thing leads to another, and they're off to his place, alone. Hanyul is excited to be going to his place, and is sorely disappointed the next. And I don't see the big deal here. This just looks like a regular room. Messy? Reek? Stop exaggerating and just sit somewhere. She notices he has big hands and recalls something her friend said earlier regarding guys with big hands. After all that blushing nonsense, she leaves with her mind racing as she thinks about something he said. She decides to ask Minchyo about it since he's a guy and may know, and goes to him personally to ask, oh my lord, is he? No. Oh gosh, she caught him gooning. This cannot get any worse. Oh my gosh! He's gooning to her! This has got to be the actual worst nightmare for gooners. Let's not ignore the fact that he had the door unlocked for this level of embarrassing gooning session. You're gooning to your childhood friend who you've known since birth. You would think he made sure the door was barricaded for this, but instead he made sure even a fly could open the door. Minchul tells a story of how his friend sent him corn, and how while he was gooning away, he just so happened to see her message, and because his door was broken, she was able to walk in at the worst possible time. And since he's even crying for her to believe him, this is probably what happened. Am I gonna believe it though? No. I'm sorry, man, but all these explanations seem more like desperation rather than the truth. And if we look back at the end of last episode, we can see you smiling. Actually, is he smiling or is it a slight frown? Dude, I have been looking at this photo for so long. It's got me like this, man. But just so I can make a joke, I'm just gonna say he was smiling. Even if you hired Saul Goodman to defend you, the best result you'd get is him as a bunk buddy. A couple days pass since the gooning incident, and Hanyul can't bottle it anymore, but she doesn't want to say it happened to her, so she goes for the old happened to a friend technique. And it's a technique that Pinky is clearly falling for. Pinky then asks why she didn't just look up online what she wanted to ask Minchul, and Hanyul is absolutely humbled, realizing she lives in the digital age, where the answer to most questions you would have are available within 10 seconds of typing. Whether it be the first thing to appear or a Reddit post from years ago. And despite that being the case, Hanyul's first thought was to ask the guy she had a fight with earlier that day and barge into his room. Coincidentally, Minchul is in the area, and Hanyul goes over to make up with him in hopes that they can go back to the way they were before. And then there's no way. This cannot be a flashback. You cannot just suddenly drop on me that they're friends with benefits. All right, let's just check the next episode. Maybe it's all one big... It's a flash forward! Apparently, as Hanyul was chasing down Minchul, she was horribly careless on where she was running as she bumps into a guy and spills his coffee all over herself. Hanyul now has a wet t-shirt, which I guess is bad. But coffee over a white shirt? Hanyul, I don't understand how you're not melting down over this. Were it me in that situation, the crash out will be so huge it would spin back on itself and become a heart attack. Minchul takes her to his club room, as they may have a spare shirt for her to wear. Hanyul wants to take her shirt off before the coffee gets all gooey, and tells Minchul as such. Inconveniently, someone walks into the club room, apparently because he's got something to drop off, which Minchul insists he takes himself. What a nice guy, taking such a heavy load for his good old pal. That's not the joke, shut up. He knows how dangerous it could be, that his friend could slip and die if he delivers the package himself. Look over here, he's insisting so much, he's straining his eyes. This right here truly is one of the most respectful moments in life. Now let's get back to the webtoon. Oh lord, she's stuck. Well, at least she isn't in a suggestive position, so it isn't as bad as it could have been. They made it suggestive! I mean, at least it wasn't what the previous episode suggested, so I can take away my censors. Oh, come on! Now I gotta put them back because this brain-dead girl is giving him a motorboat session! Yes, someone's trying to open the door. All you could have done was hide, stay quiet, while Minchul respectfully asks his buddy to leave! After that motorboat was forced onto him, Minchul has a flashback of when they were in middle school, with someone asking if they're going out. Minchul denies it, even going as far as to say he'll cut his balls off if that ever happens. Surely this flashback means nothing, right? What's that music? Oh my goodness, please don't hurt me, sir. Please, I don't want to die. Please don't. Wait, what? Where is he going with that? Oh. Uh-oh. Hanyul is disgusted that Minchul would wager his balls for something like this, and Minchul says he's completely serious about the whole thing. He then asks her what she'll do, and when she replies cutting her hair, he teases her by saying that isn't much and asks her if she's scared she'll fall for him. With that statement, she crashes out, telling him she'll never fall for him and is about to say what she'll do if she does, but the flashback is cut short before we find out. Whatever it was, we'll never know. Maybe she goes to North Korea. Perhaps she'll drive off a cliff. Or maybe she'll even do as he says and meet him halfway. Wait, would meeting halfway mean... Uh-oh. Anyways, with all that focus on them saying they'll never love each other, you can probably guess what this episode's about. Yeah, so after she finally puts a shirt on, she tries to play it off like nothing happened, and this'll all be forgotten. But for the rest of the episode, the both of them cannot get out of each other's minds, no matter how hard they try not to think about one another. As a matter of fact, Min-cheol technically helps her with anatomy on an animation project, and then distracts her with the blushing face he made. Min-cheol then finally thinks maybe he should take her out, but Han-yeol thinks she must go on a blind date to forget about Min-cheol. Considering how he reacted to Ippo only asking her out, if he saw her on an actual date, this may go from a Gooner Webtoon to a Gore Webtoon. Han-yeol gets Pinky to help her out with the blind date, having her put on her makeup and even helping dress her, since she supposedly has bad fashion sense. I don't get what's wrong with this. She's got a shirt, pants, feet. This is a fine outfit, though a couple accessories would enhance it. Just give her a hat, a lollipop, maybe even a big ass tooth in there. There we are, no guy could resist. After Pinky helps dress her, they meet up with the guys on the blind date, with most of them absolutely stunned after seeing Han-yeol. They spend the time by drinking, and drinking, and drinking, and drinking, and playing a drinking game. Jeez, have they never heard of being sober? The drinking is interrupted when one of the guys brings up Min-cheol, surprised that he and Han-yeol aren't dating since they're always seen together. She absolutely denies it, that the two of them will never see each other in that regard, before she starts thinking about his junk. And not just his junk, but him wanking with his junk, so she cannot take it anymore and ends it all. She's still alive though, albeit woozy. And now she's all alone with one of the guys as the rest of the group went to get hangover drinks. They're having a moment together with no one to interrupt them. And he has cocked another one! Well, at least this time it seemed deserved, considering this guy was gonna take advantage of Anul being drunk, so W Min-cheol, I guess. Shame on you, random guy! There is only one punishment that can fit this crime. And that's all the time I've got. Now honestly, this webtoon wasn't too bad, all things considered. I did, however, hear the main concern of the webtoon was that it being obviously NSFW would cause Webtoon to heavily censor it, leaving certain scenes without context. Now from what I've read, I don't think anything was left out, unless there was, which I'll be very upset about. Anyways, on to the stuff that I've read. Like I said, the webtoon isn't that bad. It's got some pretty good art, decent visual comedy, the plot is alright for a romance manhwa. And the big negative for this is that it's NSFW, got a lot of visuals that I'm not gonna risk with these guys breathing down my neck. Although, one man's negative is another man's positive. This webtoon would be a delightful read for Gooners. You've seen how much I've had to censor. And this is the safe for work version. The not safe for work version will be a galaxy-shattering experience for them. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, no, this webtoon is awful! Gooner bait is the bane of all mankind, and this webtoon has Gooner bait for both men and women? Hating this webtoon isn't enough. We need to take the lives of every Gooner that loves it! 5.5 out of 10. Anyways, I think that's gonna wrap up this video. Thank you guys for watching this video in its entirety. If you guys like this video, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you guys have any video suggestions or any other webtoons you'd like me to read, then please leave it in the comments section below. And with that, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.